Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ria and this is your weekly astrology horoscope for the week of 18th April to 24th April 2022. But before we begin, I request you to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post a video. And on my channel, I post weekly horoscope videos, new moon horoscope videos, and full moon horoscope videos. And you can watch those if you are interested. So let's get started. Now for this video, I'm going to talk about the background energies a little bit. Then I'm going to talk about the energies for this week, and towards the end of the video, I will pull a few cards for the week's energies. So let's get started. Now last week was an important week in astrology, right? We had a major event with Jupiter and Neptune meeting up, conjuncting on 12th April. Now this conjunction between Jupiter and Neptune, I'll show you guys, they're still almost conjunct. Neptune and Jupiter, right? They conjuncted, met up on April 12th, and the last time they met up was in 2009, and then last week April 12th, and now they will not meet up for another 13 years till 2035. And what this conjunction does is it starts a new 13-year cycle, and this time it's all about the sign of Pisces, right? All the themes associated with Pisces. Pisces is creative things, spiritual things, closing out the past in a major way. For more details, you can watch my last week's video. But very quick, this started this new cycle. There's a lot of creative energy. There's a lot of spiritual energy still. And this conjunction could have brought with it a lot of spiritual awakening as well. So that's what happened last week, right? And then on April 14th, Mars changed signs last week. So let's see that now. Mars right now is at 2 degrees of Pisces. Last week, it left the sign of Aquarius and entered the sign of Pisces. And you can see now we have Mars, Venus, Neptune, and Jupiter in Pisces, which means there's a lot of Pisces, right? And the conjunction of Neptune and Jupiter also happen in Pisces. So Pisces is extremely highlighted right now. The need for universal love and compassion, closing out the past, a focus on the subconscious mind, spiritual awakening, a lot of creativity, design, music, things like that. So a lot of Pisces. Pisces is also an energy that likes to go with the flow. It's an energy that likes to be flexible. It's an energy that's easygoing, I would say. So a lot of Pisces, and this week there's a lot of Pisces as well. So that's another thing that happened last week. And we also had the full moon in Libra on April 16th, right? Now in the sign of Libra, Libran themes of relationships, finding balance were highlighted with this full moon, and we will be in this full moon in Libra energy till 30th April when we will have the new moon solar eclipse, right? So this week we are in that full moon in Libra energy. For details, you can watch my full moon video, but real quick, let me just mention it. The full moon was in a square to Pluto, right? It was in a square to Pluto, which means the underlying theme of that full moon was Pluto, right? Transformation, catharsis, healing, changes, information coming to light, digging deeper. So those themes, and we will be working on that full moon energy all of this week as well. So 3 important background energies that I wanted to mention: the Jupiter-Neptune conjunction, Mars changing signs, and a lot of energy in Pisces, and the full moon in Libra. So let's talk about what's happening this week. Now this week is not as intense, I would say, as last week, right? Last week a lot of important events took place. This week we will feel the continuation of the energy that started last week. So let's talk about what's happening this week. Now on Monday, Sunday, depending on your location. So some parts of the world this is going to be Sunday, some parts Monday. We have Mercury and Uranus conjuncting. We have Venus and Uranus sextiling. The Sun is going to square Pluto. Then the Sun this week is going to leave the sign of Aries and enter the sign of Taurus. We will begin the last quarter square of the Moon. We will also have the Mercury-Saturn square, the Mercury-Neptune sextile. So a lot going on this week as well. So let's talk about it one by one, and I'll show you guys all this on the chart as well. So the chart is open to Pacific time right now. This is 17th April, Sunday. So some of these things that are happening for the rest of the world on Monday are happening Sunday nighttime, Pacific time. So let's talk about that. The first is that we have Mercury and Uranus conjuncting for most of the world. This is going to be Monday, but Pacific time it's Sunday. So let's talk about this energy. Mercury is the planet of our logical mind. It's the planet of communication. It's the planet of our day-to-day routine, our habits, our lifestyle, our job. It's also the planet associated with our immediate environment, how we keep our room, how we keep the furniture, things like that, right? Mercury is a lot of little things. And now it's meeting up with Uranus, the planet of sudden change, of unexpected changes. Uranus is also the awakener. It awakens you. Uranus is a lot of energy that comes out of nowhere, right? And Uranus is considered the higher octave of Mercury. So Uranus is all these things, and when Mercury and Uranus meet up, we can have sudden, unexpected changes to Mercury, things to our diet, day-to-day routine, health, lifestyle, job, these sort of things. Or we can have epiphanies and insights, because Uranus is also the planet of insights and epiphanies and realizations, and now it's contacting our logical mind. So epiphanies, realizations, all these things are possible as well. But this energy is a lot of energy, right? Mercury is our mind and Uranus is a lot of energy. So we can have a lot of stimulating mental energy. And if we don't use this energy, in doing things, channeling it the right way, it can manifest as feeling slightly frazzled, feeling slightly anxious, feeling on edge, right? That's Uranus, because it's with Mercury, our logical mind. So this is that energy that can bring sudden, unexpected changes to our day-to-day, to our routine, habits, lifestyle, job, etc. Unexpected communication, sudden communication can happen. We can also receive insights and ideas and realizations. Be mindful of letting this energy get the better of you, in the sense of being, a little over the edge, a little stressed out, a little anxious. And it's best to communicate in a peaceful way, right? Because Uranus, like I said, is a lot of energy. It's like an outburst, right? And Mercury is communication. So we don't want to go there, right? We want to communicate peacefully and calmly. And yeah, so that's happening Sunday Pacific time, most of the world Monday. Now, I spoke about this on the full moon video as well, very briefly. So that's that. Now, the second thing happening on Monday is that Mercury here, actually, it's this whole conjunction, Mercury and Uranus in a sextile with Venus, right? So this conjunction is making a positive aspect with Venus. Now, Venus is the planet of our relationships. It's the planet of our finances. It's the planet of our projects. Venus is also associated with how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth. It's the planet of beauty and all these things, right? And now it's making a positive aspect with Uranus and Mercury, but I'm going to talk about Uranus because that's more important, right? So what this can bring is sudden unexpected changes or insights, epiphanies, and ideas associated with Venus. So sudden unexpected changes to relationships, to how we feel about ourselves, to our appearance perhaps, or our project or our finances, or it can lead to ideas, insights, realizations about the same things. And this energy again is sudden and unexpected, but this is a positive aspect, right? It's a sextile, so it won't feel challenging. What could happen is that we might receive an idea about a project we're working on, or we say, hey, I'm tired of this hair, I need to change it, let's go do that. So things like that, right? So that's happening on Monday as well. Now, the next thing I want to talk about for Monday is the fact that the sun is in a square with Pluto, right? Now, this is a slower moving energy than, say, the moon and all. So we'll feel this for the whole day. And The sun in astrology is our soul, right? It's our identity, it's our consciousness, and Pluto is the planet of transformation and catharsis and healing and change and endings and beginnings. And I spoke about this in the full moon video as well. What this could bring is a transformation, healing, catharsis to our consciousness, right? To our identity. We might say that, okay, you know what, this part of me needs to go, or I need to start this new thing, and this new thing is an integral part of who I am. So things like that can happen, but this is a square, so it might feel slightly challenging, but that does not mean it's negative, right? Only through challenge do we change, and Pluto wants us to change. More than anything, it wants us to transform, it wants us to evolve, it wants us to grow. And for that, sometimes we might feel a little stressed or challenged, but the goal is always to overcome that challenge and manage that stress. So this is happening on Monday as well. A transformation, healing, catharsis, release, ending, beginning, connected to our identity or consciousness. And that's pretty much it for Monday, but a few more things I'd like to mention. The moon on Monday will be in Scorpio, right? And the moon does not really like to be in Scorpio. It would much rather be in Taurus, right? The opposite sign of Scorpio. So when the moon is in Taurus, we are more focused on really digging deep into our emotions, Scorpio, releasing, healing our emotions. And the process might not necessarily feel the best, but it helps us release, it helps us transform, it helps us grow. So that's a good thing. But the moon in Scorpio will conjunct the south node and it will square Saturn, right? So there might be a moment when the moon squares Saturn and conjuncts the south node that we might feel slightly stressed. So just be mindful of this energy. So that's how we begin this week. Now, the next important thing happens on Tuesday. So let me move up the chart. And then you'll see this. Okay, let me move up the hours. Then you'll see this. Give me a moment. Okay, there we go. So on Tuesday, the sun here is going to leave Aries and enter the sign of Taurus, right? Now, Aries and Taurus are very different energies, and the sun stays in a particular sign for 30 days. The sun in Aries is an energy that's about going after what you want. It's about getting things done. It's about, saying that, okay, I want this, I'm going to go after it. Aries, right? Aries can also be impulsive, but very simply, Aries is a very go-getting sort of energy. So the sun in Aries makes it easier for us to really go after what we want, right? We have that fuel, the power of Mars. Aries is a Mars-ruled energy, the power of Mars to help us, make things happen and get things done. It is an impulsive energy. So that's Aries. But Taurus is different, right? Taurus is a Venus-ruled energy. Taurus is about indulgence. It's about indulging our senses. It's about indulging ourselves in some good food, perhaps nature. Taurus is also about material things, right? It's about possessions. It's about our self-worth as well. It's about the skills that we have. So the focus in subtle ways will shift to Taurus, and the energy of Taurus is more stable, more secure, more grounded, more slow-moving than Aries. So there'll be this subtle shift, right? Aries is, let's do this now. Taurus is slow-moving. It does not like to change that much. It's stable, it's secure. I'm not saying if you're Taurus, you're these things. I'm just saying Taurus energy is all these things, right? So it's a slower energy, it's a more stable energy, it's a more grounded energy, it's an energy more focused on nourishing our senses. So we'll see that subtle shift as well. And now if you look at the chart now, we've shifted a lot of energy recently. Right now, look at the chart. We have Mars, Venus, Neptune, Jupiter, all in Pisces. A very free-flowing, flexible energy about doing what we feel like doing, about connecting with the higher realms, about spiritual things, about music, about design, right? And we have Taurus. Taurus is about indulgence. It's stable, it's secure, it's about, feeling good. It's about feeling good about ourselves. So the energy really has shifted this week because beginning of this year, Feb, March, we had a lot of Capricorn, we had a lot of Aquarius, and that energy is different, right? Capricorn is hard work, decisions, discipline, getting things done, reaching the top, accomplishments, right? And Aquarius is also a Saturn ruled energy, was a Saturn ruled energy. Now Uranus rules it, but Aquarius is also about intellectual pursuits, right? Innovation, progress, scientific breakthroughs. So it's an energy that's not so much about going with the flow or emotions, right? It's not about emotions. It's not about how we feel. But now it's shifted. Both Pisces, especially Pisces, is a lot about how we feel. And Taurus is about making ourselves feel good. So we'll see this shift in energy as we have 4 energies in Taurus and 4 in Pisces. So there's a shift, right? There's a shift in the energy. Now, moving on to the next important thing, I'm going to clean up the chart and move the days. So the next important thing happens on Saturday, I believe. Yeah, and we have the last quarter square of the moon. So the moon in Aquarius squares the sun in Taurus, right? And this starts a period of about 7 to 8 days of releasing, of letting go, right? Till we have that new moon solar eclipse on 30th April. So this whole week, till we have that new moon solar eclipse on 30th April, we are going to be doing a lot of subconscious release. We're going to be doing a lot of emotional release. It's about closing out the last lunar month, right? So this week, we're going to say, okay, what do I need to let go of? What do I need to release so that I can be ready for this new moon solar eclipse on April 30th? So that's April 23rd. And on the same day, we have Mercury here, right? It's going to make a lot of aspects. So it's going to square Saturn, 90-degree angle, and it is going to sextile Neptune. So that is happening on Saturday. And Mercury, like I said, is communication. It's our thinking, it's our logical mind, it's our day-to-day habits, routine, job, health, all these things. And Saturn is the planet of decisions. It's the planet of hard work and discipline. Saturn, it defines things. It defines things in our lives. It defines things, generally speaking. So what might happen is that we might be required to take a decision or define or refine or fine-tune Mercury-related things, right? Fine-tune perhaps maybe our routine, or take a decision regarding our day-to-day, right? Things like that. So things associated with Mercury, communication, thinking, day-to-day environment, routine, job, health, we will be required to either work hard towards those or define something or fine-tune them, right? So it's not like a really stressful thing, but it might feel slightly challenging because it's a square. So just be mindful of that energy, but the goal is always to change, right? Squares require us to grow. That's why they feel challenging. They require us to grow. They require us to evolve. So through this certain pressure that we might feel in association with our thinking, communication, job, health, lifestyle, routine, we'll say, okay, you know what? In order to overcome this, I need to change this in my routine. I need to change this about my life. So that's happening on Saturday, and it is in a sextile to Neptune. So Neptune is the planet that rules Pisces, right? It's the planet that rules the higher realms, the spiritual world. It's the planet of creativity. It's the planet of going with the flow. So Neptune is all these things, and now it's contacting the logical mind. So Neptune is also intuition, right? So although Saturn is saying, okay, maybe decide something, refine something, fine-tune something, maybe in your diet or day-to-day, etc., there's this intuitive element to the whole process, right? We might say like, okay, you know what? I don't know this logically, but I feel this is the right step to make. It could be something really small, but there is this intuitive spiritual energy impacting this energy that is asking us to maybe define something or take a decision or refine something when it comes to Mercury. So that is Saturday. And that's how we end the week. And now let me talk about what's happening next week real quick. So next week we have a new moon solar eclipse, right, on April 30th. And eclipses are karmic points, they're fated events. So we'll begin this karmic period of about 2 weeks so where fated events take place. So April 30th we have that new moon solar eclipse, and then on April 29th we have Pluto going retrograde, right now this week all energies are still direct, and when energies are direct it's the best time to start new things and go after what you want, because once Pluto goes retrograde on April 29th, Mercury will go retrograde on May 10th, and slowly the planets will start going retrograde. And retrogrades are a period of review, right? During retrogrades we receive the results of the work we put in when the planets were direct. During retrogrades we review whatever we did during the planet's direct motion. So we are having Pluto go retrograde next week as well. Next week we also have the Venus-Neptune conjunction, a very spiritual creative energy. We also have Venus and Jupiter conjunct on April 30th and Venus changing signs on May 2nd. So a lot of things happening. And let me mention that Mercury here, right now it's in Taurus. It's going to retrograde between 26 degrees of Taurus and 4 degrees of Gemini. So soon we will be entering that zone where Mercury is concerned, which we will retrograde over. I'll talk more about that next week. So that's the week in a nutshell. And now I will pull a few cards for the week's energies. So let's get started. Truth. This is Pluto in my opinion, right? Pluto is the one that really digs deep into the truth. So some message about maybe speaking your truth or living in your truth, or just, finding the truth, right? Because we are in that full moon in Libra energy, which was in a square to Pluto. Pluto can really help us uncover what's buried deep within. So maybe something about, the truth coming out or things like that. So that's the first card. Something flipped. Flow. And this is Pisces, right? This is Pisces. We have a lot of Pisces right now. So perhaps a message about going with the flow, right? Going with the flow. The beginning of this year, we had Capricorn, we had Aquarius. Now Capricorn is an energy that is more structured. It's not about going with the flow. Pisces is different. Pisces is about, I feel this, I'll do this, right? So go with the flow, and perhaps that will help us. Okay, let's go with one more card from this deck. Power. Again, this is Pluto, right? And I think what this is trying to tell us is that we might need to find that power within us, and perhaps that power is connected to our truth, right? We truly can't stand in our power till we embrace our own truth. So perhaps it's about that. Let's pick a lesson card. Yeah, this is a lesson card deck. Lesson card is worry. I'm learning that worry doesn't change an outcome, and perhaps what we need to learn this week is that we should not worry, right? Worry is a thing associated with Virgo, right? I'm not saying if you're a Virgo, you worry. I'm just saying that worry, stress are things associated with the sign of Virgo. And what's the opposite sign of Virgo? Pisces. And where's the energy right now? Pisces. So worrying is not going to help, right? Pisces is about surrender. Pisces is about going with the flow, and we got that card, flow. So perhaps what this card is saying is that don't worry, like go with the flow, surrender to the divine, surrender to the higher power, and everything will work out, right? I think that's the lesson that we need to learn, that it's Pisces time, it's not Virgo right now. Let's pick one more card. Hope. Out of darkness comes light. This is again a Pluto card, right? To me, this is a Scorpio card, because Scorpio is the darkest point, right? It's where we go really deep. And then what comes after Scorpio is Sag. Sag is the most hopeful sign. So what this is saying, that after darkness comes light. And that's true, right? Only after the night does the day come. So we work in these cycles. Nature works in these cycles of going through darkness, but then there's sunlight, there's dawn, right? So keep the hope alive, keep the hope alive. And this is especially important when things are not looking good, right? Things are not looking good. And sometimes to get through tough times or dark times, right, what I have learned is that what we need is endurance, right? Endurance to take that next step, and the next and the next, one step at a time. And that helps, right? So keep that hope alive. And the last card, and then I'll show you guys the cards again. Something flipped. Unfinished symphony. Again, Pluto, right? Pluto is about finishing things that need to be finished but are unfinished. So what is that unfinished thing? And I think we got something similar for the full moon. I think we got never-ending story, if I'm not mistaken, right? Unfinished symphony. What is that unfinished thing in your life, in your thoughts, in your emotions, that is better off completed, right? What is that thing? Planets are still direct. It's that time to take action and make things happen. So what is that unfinished thing? And there's a lot of Pluto here, right? There's a lot of Pluto. Hope, again, Scorpio, about facing the dark and hoping for the light, believing that there's light. Power, right? Finding our own power. And sometimes, actually, a lot of the times, we can only stand in our power when we accept our own truth, right? Again, Pluto. And one card about going with the flow, Pisces, and another lesson card reminding us to go with the flow, right? Pisces, don't worry, surrender, go with the flow. We have a lot of Pisces right now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week now. Bye.